Hi folks, Scone Mason here. Just wanted to do a quick video. I've got a couple new essays written that I want to record, but this is something I'm doing kind of off the cuff, which is new for me. My wife and I were driving through Beverly Hills, which, in case you don't know it, has a lot of Jewish residents. And what we saw was this. God hates Jews sign.
You hate your neighbor! You lie to your neighbor every day!
Show me your sign there. God hates Gaga. This is funny.
We're going to be hit out here.
So what we saw was apparently a group from the Westboro Baptist Church or some related entity. They had the signs that normally say things like God hates fags, but their sign said God hates Jews, and one sign that said God hates Gaga, which is really funny. I guess because Lady Gaga is so popular right now, they just wanted to go after something or someone people would identify with, maybe in Los Angeles. I don't know. That was on the corner of Sunset and Benedict Canyon, which is about 2 miles from the Sunset Strip. And I guess they assumed that there would be people around who cared that God hated Lady Gaga. The reason I'm whipping up this video in a hurry is it's a follow-up to my previous video about Words of a True Christian, in that these people are Christians. They are devout Christians. They believe in all their heart that Jesus is the Son of God and that He rose from the dead and all the other stipulations necessary for Christendom. And at the same time, they are obviously extremely hate-filled and pernicious people. They believe that God hates Jews. And they believe they have the right to stand there and speak for God and with signs that say God hates Jews. And you know what? They're absolutely right. They have every right to do that. And their representation of God is no less correct than anyone else, than Mother Teresa or the Pope or Desmond Tutu or anyone, a gay bishop, anybody. That you all pray to the same God. And every person who believes in that God can represent that God the way they want, and without any punishment, without any retribution. And why is that? Because that God exists in the mind of each person, and they can create that God in any way they want to. And what makes these people bad is that they are bad. It isn't because they've defied God or they've gone against His principles, or they're just assholes. And people who are Christians who are not assholes are just nice. Christianity doesn't make anyone a nice person or a bad person. It just has no effect on their behavior whatsoever. These people show that just being a Christian doesn't make you a good person. It will not make you love your fellow man. It will not make you emulate Christ. Can you see my quotes? Emulate Christ. Jesus Christ, Sean. Emulate Christ. It will not make them emulate Christ because that is up to them. And emulating Christ, I don't even know what that means, really. I mean, people have this idea that He was this peaceful, loving person, that in fact He's a myth that didn't exist, and you can make whatever you want of His mythological descriptions in the Bible. He was good and bad. It wasn't. He's the one who defined hell. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that contradicts what people normally see as, the Jesus that takes care of orphan children or heals people or whatever it is. My point being, of course, that God is whatever you imagine Him to be. The God that you believe in has a pretty good reflection of your personality, even if you don't realize that. Which makes it easy for us who don't believe to meet Christians, meet believers, and make a pretty good character judgment right away on them based on how they describe their God having an attitude toward us. Obviously, these people on the street corner, part of the reason I filmed them was for comic relief. My wife and I were laughing on the soundtrack, obviously. But it just shows that you can take your image of God and make it whatever you want. And if you're an anti-Semitic asshole who has the lack of self-esteem enough to stand out on a street corner in Beverly Hills, California and scream God hates Jews and you hate your neighbors and all these terrible things they were saying to people, and feel like you're accomplishing something, then you're perfectly capable of doing that. There's no God standing in your way. There's nothing out into the real world affecting that behavior in any way. It's all in your mind. So once again, Christianity and Christians must own these people. You have to accept them as Christians because they say they are, and that's the only rule. You can't say they're not true Christians. You can't say they're not following the proper tenets. They follow whatever tenets they want to, and if they say they're Christians, they are. There's nothing you can do about it. They are grouped with you because of you all decide to label yourselves Christians. Now, that being said, you can also say, well, I'm not an asshole. I don't want to be a part of them. And that's your right, and you're absolutely correct about that. So when we say all Christians must accept these fringe dwellers in their philosophy, it doesn't mean you have to be an asshole. In fact, it's encouragement to not be an asshole. And the way you do that is by admitting that anyone can say they're a Christian, but they can still be an asshole. But if you don't want to be an asshole, you just don't be one. And that has nothing to do with religion. Your morality is something you decide on. It's your behavior that you decide on every single day. Even if you don't want to accept responsibility for your decision, it is still your decision to make. You can blame it on the devil, you can blame it on God, you can say, I'm trying to emulate Jesus or be like God or whatever the hell, or the devil made me do it, or whatever it is. But those are decisions you're making. You're just disguising them with religious rhetoric, basically. I mean, you're using words that suggest there's some kind of power when it's actually all there in your mind. Okay, so that's my quick video on the wonderful people we saw in Beverly Hills. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Please rate the video response if you like. And to all my subscribers and all my viewers, I say thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.